I am Kritika from Chemistry Department, Assistant Professor. I am going to take a topic of reverse osmosis. First we see about what is a desalination. So here desalination is a reverse osmosis. First we know about what is a desalination. So desalination refers to the removal of excess salt. So water contains some of the salt content. So we have to remove that salt. So excess salt or other minerals from water such as seawater, that is to obtain fresh water suitable for irrigation and human consumption. So desalination is a artificial process by which saline water is converted to fresh water. So the most common desalination process are electrodialysis and reverse osmosis. Here I am going to explain about reverse osmosis. So what is RO? Reverse osmosis, it is a desalination process that is principle of osmosis. So osmosis is to remove salt and other impurities by transferring water through a series of semi-permeable membrane. So semi-permeable membrane, we should know about what is a semi-permeable membrane. Cellulose acetate, cellulose butyrate and polyamides are used as a semi-permeable membrane. So thermal desalination, it is by uses of heat, often waste heat from power plant or refineries to evaporate and condense water to purify it. Next we see about first osmosis. First of all we should know about osmosis, then only the reverse osmosis will be easy. So osmosis is a type of diffusion where water molecules pass across a semi-permeable membrane from a high water potential area to a lower potential. On the other hand, reverse osmosis is a process where movement of water molecules occur through a semi-permeable membrane. So that is against a constant gradient, and or we can say about the process of movement of solvent through a semi-permeable membrane from the solution to the pure solvent by applying excess pressure. So that on the solution side. So we have to give excess pressure on the solution side. That is called as a reverse osmosis. So what is a reverse osmosis principle? So to break down the process further, due to the presence of a membrane, large molecules of a solute are not able to cross through it and they remain on the pressurized side. So pure solvent on the other hand is allowed to pass through the membrane. So when this happens, the molecules of the solute start becoming concentrated on one side while the other side of the membrane becomes dilute. So furthermore, the levels of the solution also change to some degree. So what is the reverse osmosis process? So which process we are using? So osmotic pressure is a minimum pressure required to stop solvent flow through the semi-permeable membrane. So therefore, when the solution side, that is the side where the solute concentration is high, that we called as a solution side, is subjected to a pressure. So we are applying some more pressure on that side. So pressure greater than that or osmotic pressure. So the pressure we are applying should be greater than the osmotic pressure. So the solvent particles on the solution side move through the semi-permeable membrane. So to the region where the solute concentration is low. So such inverse solvent movement through the semi-permeable membrane is called as a reverse osmosis. So it is important to note that pressure applied to the solution side, so where we are applying the pressure is the higher than the osmotic pressure for the reverse osmosis to proceed out. So osmotic pressure, we say it is as a colligative property which depends on the concentration of the solution. So in water purification, reverse osmosis is very important. So we are also using this RO plant in our home and all. So many water purifiers used today, that is use reverse osmosis in purification process as a step by step. how does this reverse osmosis work? So we are known that, so we have to see about this experiment. An easy experiment can be conducted by taking some fresh water and a concentrated aqueous solution. So the solution should be kept on opposite sides with a semi-permeable membrane placed in between to separate the two solutions. So pressure should be applied on the side on the concentrated solution. So where the concentrated solution is there, at that side we have to give the pressure. Now this will result in water molecules moving through the membrane to the freshwater side. So we can collect the freshwater side in another compartment. So this basically sums up the process of reverse osmosis. So next we see about that is reverse osmosis process, which takes away see the water, the molecules which is moved from that, in that the solvent, the solute is stay on one side, the solvent is move on the other side. So this process shows about the reverse osmosis process. So here this is a schematic representation of the reverse osmosis process, where the applied pressure is given on the salt water side. So the solute molecules stay back in the salt water side, the water will be moved towards the fresh water, so that we can collect the pure water in another compartment. So here the in between dotted representation which shows us about the semi-permeable membrane. As I told before, the semi-permeable membrane, animal skins also used as a semi-permeable membrane, and also cellulose acetate, cellulose polyamides are also used for semi-permeable membrane. Okay, next we see about the benefits of reverse osmosis. So some of the benefits, main benefit of reverse osmosis is that effectively many types of dissolved and suspended chemical particles as well as the biological entities can be also removed. And this technique is wide application, which is used for wide application in treating liquid wastages and discharges, which are discharges, it means that from some of the industries. So it is also used in purifying water to prevent diseases. So it helps in desalinating the sea water also, and it is a beneficial in the medical field. Advantages of reverse osmosis. So the uses we have seen. So what are all the advantages? So here bacteria, viruses, pyrogen materials are rejected by the membrane. So we are using the membrane over there. So by that membrane, these that is bacteria, viruses are rejected. So in this respect, RO water approaches distilled water in a quality. So we get a pure water. So available units are relatively compact. So it is compact and require little space. So mostly we can use in home and all. In average use, the membrane has a life. So it has a life. So we can use the membrane for 2 or more years. So periodic complete sterilization of the RO system can be done by formalin or other sterilant in a practical. And we see about disadvantages of reverse osmosis. So disadvantages of reverse systems include the following. So cellulose acetate membrane have limited pH tolerance. They degrade at temperatures greater than 35 degrees Celsius. So they are vulnerable to bacteria. So they eventually hydrolyze, and polyamide membranes are intolerant, and thin film composites are intolerant of chlorine. So because the water contains chlorine, the high flux polysulfonates require softening or deionization of fed water to function properly. Thank you everyone.